Tanner Thomas told me to change my username. Okay, I've filmed this so many different times. Hello, I'm Bowgirl Lydia. I'm still the one with a fangirl, just with a different name because Tanner Thomas told me to change my username.
What with the fangirl? Why don't you change it? Yeah, you definitely gotta be Bowgirl.
And I did. I changed my username to Bowgirl Lydia because a lot of people now know me as Bowgirl, so I'm Bowgirl. Still a place where I'm gonna fangirl, and right now we've been fangirling about Banana Ball because Banana Ball has become unexpectedly a huge part of my life. I was like, let's celebrate 200 bows, ask me questions. It's crazy that I have sold that many bows. I only set out that I was gonna sell like maybe 40. At this point, over 200 because it's been a while since I first initially hit 200. So it's a little over 200 at this point, and it is crazy. And I just have to thank you for any way you've supported me, whether that's sharing my videos, following me, buying a bow, sharing my Etsy. However you have supported me, I truly appreciate it, and I cannot thank you enough. It has been a crazy journey being Bowgirl, and I can't wait to see where this takes me, what this turns into. I'm just thankful. Thank you. I asked you guys to ask me questions about me because I kind of wanted you guys to get to know me and know a little bit more about my story. So obviously I'm gonna answer some questions that you guys had. And the first question I have is from Party Animal Girly, which I have interacted with on Tanner Thomas's live stream. So she asks, what inspired you to start making bows? The short story, long story. I wore a bow to Big Time Rush, which if you've watched my Big Time Rush vlog, I have shown that bow in there. I loved that interaction, and I love having bows. I like wearing bows, okay? I don't know why. I have bows for like my Halloween costumes. I like wearing bows. So it's kind of that. But in September of last year, I found out I made it in the K Club, and I was like, I want a bow for the games I go to. And I didn't have a Cricut, and I was like, well, now I'm gonna have to like text my cousin every time I want a bow. I can't do that. And so I was like, well, I want a Cricut for Christmas. And so I had asked my mom, like, we were at Hobby Lobby like a week before Christmas, and I was like, Mom, I really want a Cricut. And she's like, well, you can ask for one for your birthday. Well, behold, on Christmas morning, I opened and I got a Cricut for Christmas. I was like, now I can make bows for all the games I'm going to. And I had made a TikTok in January of this year of me making a Jackson Olsen bow, and it's on here. I think I also posted on YouTube as well, so you can go and scroll and find it. But I had made it, and somebody had commented. Her name is Lindsay, and I actually got to meet her in Milwaukee, which is really cool. She's literally like my number one supporter. Like, I literally thank her for everything because she's literally the comment that kind of changed my life. But I looked into it, and I was like, you know what, I should start selling it. And I made a video of me making the Jackson Olsen one, and I was like, I should start. And so I looked into it, and I bought my first set of like bows and vinyl, and I had all the supplies, and I was not at all expecting, the amount of orders I got. And now I'm Bowgirl. It's crazy how far it's come from the simple TikTok that I made, not really expecting it to go viral, which Jackson Olsen also commented on it. I made a Tanner Thomas one before that, and it's a really ugly bow, and I think I ripped it up. Ripped the vinyl off of it. It wasn't glitter. I didn't have glitter vinyl at the time. I only had regular vinyl, so it looked really bad. Here's a picture of it. Taco Kenzie asks, what is your favorite bow to make? So my favorite bow to make is anybody who comes at me with a challenge. Is like, hey, I have this idea for a bow. And I'm like, let me see what I can do. Like, let me see if I can execute your idea. Like, my friend Liana, she always challenges me with a bow design. And right now I cannot wait for you to see the bow that I have to send her because it's gonna be really cool. Because she actually has helped me come up with some cool ideas for them, and she always challenges me. So anytime Liana orders a bow, it's automatically gonna be my favorite bow because this girl should be challenging me. I recently made a really cool Team USA one for her, and before I sent it out, I texted her and I said, I'm having a hard time wanting to send this out because it came out so good. Like, it was super cool. It had all of the Banana Girlies names on it because they were playing for Team USA. And so it was really cool. It was a really cool bow, and it's still probably one of my favorites. Sarah Catherine asks, how did you find out about Banana Ball? There's kind of two ways I found out about it. So the first time I found out about it was the ceilings trend on TikTok, where people were running in dresses to the song Ceilings, and all the TikTok of Noah Bridges, which I actually got to meet Noah Bridges because I was like, oh, he's the reason I know what Banana Ball is. And I also met him for Cali, but those are the two reasons I went over and I met Noah Bridges. I was on my break at work and I was scrolling on TikTok, and there's this video of Noah Bridges in this beautiful yellow dress, lip syncing Ceilings, running through a baseball field. And I was like, what is this? And I followed them because then I started watching more of the walk-ups, and I thought these were really funny and really cool that there was a baseball team doing that. I was like, that's kind of interesting, like kind of intrigued me a little. And then later on in the summer, my mom and my aunt were planning, we were going on a family vacation to Tybee Island and spending some time in Savannah, because Tybee Island is about 10-15 minutes away from Savannah. And so we were like, we're trying to come up with ideas to do in Savannah, doing things on family vacation, and they were like, oh, let's look at the Savannah bananas. And my mom was like, oh, they're really expensive. And then like they were looking more on the website, and they're like, actually, no, those are resellers, and they're not actually that expensive. And so we kind of tried to sign up for the lottery, but they weren't going to be in Savannah at the time that we were on vacation. So we kind of were like, we realized at that point that they were more popular than we realized. And that was kind of like how we found out about it. And then 2024, my mom made us sign up for the lottery for 2025. And we won. So I found out about it from TikTok and us trying to actually try to see them in 2024. And of course, this question comes from Callie, Party Animals 28, aka Callie loves Drew Gillespie. How did you meet Callie? I met Callie in Tanner's live stream chat. I made a Drew Gillespie bow for her. She's still the only one that's ever ordered a Drew Gillespie bow. She's still the only one. Question comes from your favorite Dirty Blonde 13. She actually has two questions because I already answered how did you meet Callie. So the second question she has, what has been your favorite experience you have had with being known as the Bow Girl? There's a lot of cool experiences, a lot of things. Nothing stops being crazy to me, and I never want it to stop being crazy or feeling crazy to me, because I've had so many funny stories. My favorite experiences I have, I'm not gonna say who, but I have had a player's wife reach out to me, and I have made a bow for their daughter. But my favorite experience really has to be when I was in Nashville. I was in line for Tanner, and I was talking to this woman, and we were talking about, like, we were talking about Tanner, actually. Well, first she was like, you look really familiar, and I was like, I'm on TikTok, maybe you've seen my TikToks or something, and I've been at a lot of games, so maybe you've seen me at games. We're just talking, and I was telling her like how Tanner calls me the Bow Girl. I said, yeah, this is like my 4th time meeting him. She's like, wow, that's like cool. And she's like, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Central Illinois. And she's like, oh, that's really cool, like you came all this way. And I said, yeah. I was just talking to her and like, being really respectful. She was really sweet. She actually just found me on TikTok not too long ago and commented, are you the young lady that I met in Nashville? And I said, that depends. Did I take your picture of you and Tanner? And she said, yes. I said, do you want me to take your picture with you and Tanner? And she said, yeah, that would be great. And so I took her picture, and when I was done taking her picture, Tanner turns to this man and says, you picked a really good person to take your picture. And she's like, yeah, I heard you know her. And he's like, yeah, I call her Bow Girl. She's becoming a regular at our games. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she's like, well, I can't really wear, bows. And she was like, well, she can put them clips in them. And we were actually all talking together, and he was saying, oh, you should put it like on a wristband so people could wear it as a wristband. And I was like, oh, that's actually a really cool idea. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna do that. But that was really funny, like him being like, yeah, I'm trying to like help me come up with ideas. I was like, Okay, so like, you know, Tanner Thomas out here trying to help me come up with bow ideas. Cool. Just anytime I hear him talk about me, like, hi, yeah, that's me. Really crazy. Sometimes I'll be scrolling on TikTok and I'm like, that's my bow. I made that bow. One time got a message from somebody. We missed each other for 2 Tennessee games. She messaged me and said that Tanner had told her that he had seen me. I was like, of course. She asks, what tips do you have for going to banana ball games? Hydrate. Drink a lot of water. If you are able to, get to the plaza when it opens, because it's really fun. Like, get to it a little bit early, because then like you get to do like the plaza, like opening of the plaza, and it's really fun. Like you do a countdown, streamers go off, and it's really fun. Hour before, like, you know, before the peel, the fire drill, whatever like headliner you're going to, whatever like their thing is while banana ball backstage is going on, like the players will be out for like, so each team will be out for a half hour before the game starts. So always get there, like, if the plaza opens at 2, get there a little bit before 2, and then so you can be there and do like the gate opening ceremony. If you are able to, this is just if you are able to, like, you don't have to, but if you want to meet players, if you are going to like an MLB stadium, they'll only be out before the game. They will not be out after the game. Now, if you're going to like a smaller stadium, like if you went to like First Horizon Park in Nashville, they'll be out after the game. They get there early, but if you're at a smaller stadium, you'll likely have a chance to meet them after the game. Another thing is another tip I have is be respectful of the players. They don't owe you anything. My dad told me in Milwaukee that somebody just grabbed and hugged Tanner, and yes, it's fans first, but they just be extremely respectful of them, because they are humans, and mindful of their feelings, because, you know, we all have bad days, and sometimes, you know, they might be a little off. If they're uncomfortable with something, don't push it, just, you know, shrug it off and move on. Like, I've always had a really good experience with players. I've never had a bad experience with them. The only weird experience that I stood in line for. Only thing I have to say is, if you're going to meet KJ, just be prepared to stand in line for a long time. I stood in line for a half hour to meet KJ. If that's all who you're going to see, you're going to stand in line for a hot minute. Mindful of the kids, and make sure that, you know, they still feel the magic of banana ball, and have fun. It's so fun. Just allow yourself to have fun. I go all out for Hey Baby. My goal is one day to be on the field for Hey Baby. One comes from Peyton, aka Bananas for KJ. I got one for your sister. My sister unfortunately is not here right now, so while I'm filming this, but I can answer this question as to why. Why was your sister so upset when you met KJ? Because my sister loves KJ. Before she loved Andy Cosgrove, she loved KJ. She has a flag of KJ that I bought her last year. So she was really mad that I met KJ without her. Which, funny enough, the ticket for Wrigley was actually hers, but she did not want to go to Chicago with me. So my mom went. My mom and my dad. My dad got a ticket last minute on Marketplace. This comes from Abby.Paw. How many games have you gone to, and what series/city was your favorite? And she put Wrigley, LOL, because we were both actually at the same game, but we didn't meet each other, and that's kind of sad. I do love meeting you guys. So I have gone to St. Louis, Memphis, Indianapolis, Milwaukee, Nashville, and Wrigley, 6. And I will be going to my 7th on August 22nd in St. Louis. So my favorite game that I've gone to was probably Milwaukee, because Milwaukee was the first time I had been to like an at night Party Animals headliner game, and to see the whole entire stadium lit up pink. It was really cool. That was my favorite. Taco Kenzie asks again, are you ever going to come out with other products? Yes. I just can't tell you what yet, because I'm working on it. But yes, I am working on other products. So those are all the questions for today.